Welcome to the regular meeting for Monday, July 7, 2014. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, Madam Clerk.
Trustee Hein?
Here.
Trustee Lang?
Here.
Trustee Brady?
Here.
Trustee Krueger? Here. Trustee Vogel?
Here.
Trustee Heer?
Here.
President Argyris?
Here. Thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of June 2nd.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Brady.
Second.
Second by Trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Argyris?
Yes, thank you. Entertain a motion to approve the regular meeting of June 16th.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Krueger, second by Trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Abstain.
President Argyris?
Yes, thank you. Proclamations, Madam Clerk.
Mark McEnery Day, July 7, 2014. Mark McEnery began his employment as a police officer with the Wheeling Police Department on July 1, 1986, and was appointed to corporal on April 11, 1993. Throughout his career, Mark McEnery has dedicated himself to making Wheeling a safer place to live and work. After 28 years of dedicated service with the Wheeling Police Department, Mark McEnery is retiring. Dean Argyris, President of the Village of Wheeling, do hereby proclaim July 7th, 2014 is Mark McEnery Day in the Village of Wheeling in recognition and appreciation of his many years of dedicated service to the community and the police department.
Thank you. Commander Wisniewski. Just retiree Corporal McEnery for us?
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Citizens' concerns, any changes to the agenda? I'm sorry.
None this evening, thank you.
Citizens' concerns and comments.
Okay. Members of the general public may address the board with concerns or comments regarding relevant issues. The person submitting a petition, concern, or other comment shall be allotted 5 minutes to present their points and should state their name and address into the record. Mr. Neff.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Steve Neff. I've resided in Wheeling since 1994. And I've seen it grow. And my major concern now is a study being put forward that Chicago Executive Airport will expand their runways by 2,000 feet. So I'm a little concerned because I'm in the flight path. I'm right by Holmes Junior High, which pretty much bisects my house and the school. And so I wanted to look a little further in how the airport actually benefits the community. So I was trying to glean as much information as I could from the financial statement from Chicago Executive Airport. What everyone may not know as citizens is that airport revenues are solely restricted to funding airport development and airport maintenance expenses. That also includes property acquisition. So we don't get a lot of revenue from the airport. What we do get is some property taxes paid by lessees. On page 53 of the Chicago Executive Airport financial statement, you have a schedule from 2004 to 2013. Property market values at Chicago Executive Airport went from $7 million to $12 million, an increase of 67%, while the property tax paid by the lessees decreased by 49%. So I would sure like to have access to whoever's reassessing the taxes at Chicago Executive Airport, because my taxes keep going up. And I know with any expansion beyond the borders, it's going to require taking properties and knocking down buildings, such as Foxborough Apartments, which is a top 10 property tax generating entity in the village. So with expansion, that leaves us as homeowners outside TIF districts to take up any slack to offset property taxes, if we keep expanding this airport. So I would like to wrap my arms around how the airport benefits us. I don't know, you guys talk in hypotheticals that all this extra air traffic is an economic engine and it should, bring business to the community. But I would really like to see some hard facts as to, what the tax revenue is, the sales tax revenue is, the fuel flowage fees, and the property taxes generated from the airport, because I'd really like to feel good about it, being the neighbor and watching these jets streak past my house, on a regular basis. I have been active at some of the airport meetings recently, and I'm taking an interest, because I'm, in the noise zone. So some of the things that I've been watching going on over there is the airport, they bought a new pickup truck. They bought an F-350 for airport maintenance. They didn't even give Stasic Chevrolet a chance to bid on it. You would think that you'd want to keep the dollars in our community. Something else that kind of startled me is there was a proposal to install signs at each corner of the airport at $150,000 a piece. I don't know if it comes with a clock tower too, but it seems pretty excessive. And thank God you guys had the sense to vote that down. Another issue I have is, in pursuit of this study, is appointing Charlie Priester, who's not a resident of Wheeling. Last time I checked, he lives on a golf course in Lake in the Hills. Is one of the biggest the biggest businesses, owns a charter operations, has several airplanes. I don't see how that's not a conflict of interest. How is he looking out for, my best interest as a resident of Wheeling? So these are some of the items that I'm concerned about. I don't know how much time I get, Elaine.
About a little less than a minute.
Little less than 30 minute? Seconds. So in summary, I would love to just see some kind of document that shows, oh, I have to bring this other thing up. On the website, if you go to tourist information, Chicago Executive Airport, why not list like Restaurant Row in all the restaurants so we can actually drive some traffic to our restaurants? What we have is dining and lodging, and when you click on that link, it goes to page not found. And this has been there stale for 6 weeks. I called the airport and told them, which is kind of embarrassing. Is that my timer? All right, thank you for your time, everybody.
Thanks, Steve.
Thank you. Ms. Didier?
Hi.
Hi.
Laurel Didier. I'm a resident of Wheeling. Most of you know I'm the troublemaker with the petition. But I just wanted to tell you a little story that I heard last week that really concerned me quite a bit. And that was a very high official from Prospect Heights told a Wheeling resident that the airport expansion is a done deal because the FAA and IDOT are going to give us $1 billion to expand the airport to take cargo planes out of O'Hare. Now, I'm a sensible person, and I know there's no way you can move all the cargo planes from O'Hare to Wheeling. However, we do have FedEx right across the street. And I know that UPS has wanted to come into the village of Wheeling. They want to get out of their Northbrook location. So it absolutely kind of raises the hackles on anybody who doesn't want an airport expansion. So I don't know if you can comment on that. But I'm putting it out there that that is what's going around, and it's very concerning. And I wanted to read to you just one of the comments from the petition. I know you've seen most of them, but I just thought this one was particularly poignant and really hit home for what I'm feeling. And it said, an expansion of this magnitude would affect our quality of life and health. The people voting for this obviously don't live in this area that will be affected. Many of us are organized to not vote for any member who will support this and vote for this expansion. It will jeopardize the health of the residents and children in this area. I'm not going to even read the last sentence because it's a little contentious, but I think it's really important that an airport expansion, especially if it's going to bring in cargo planes that fly from midnight to 6 a.m., is not good for Wheeling. It's not good for my quality of life, and I doubt anybody here would think it was. And we also, one last point was, we were told that this would not be something that would be on a referendum on the ballot. And we urge you that if this study goes through and it comes back and says the only way, Chicago Executive Airport can grow and be profitable is that you have to expand it, then it should be on the ballot. The citizens of Wheeling have the right to make a decision. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Heber?
Good evening. My name is George Heber. I live on 237 Cindy Lane. I've been a resident of the village of Wheeling now for going on 54 years. I have seen a lot of changes myself in that period of time. But anyway, now I'm here for you tonight for something else. The blood drive is coming up July 9th from 2 until 7 p.m. right here at 2 Community Boulevard. And if there's anyone wants to make appointments, you can call Beverly at 1-847-499-9045 and to make an appointment. Now, blood is drastically needed. I've been going through this now for, possibly going on 30 years, and I don't think I'll ever give up until I'm dead. I'd like to introduce someone tonight, though. She's going to 156 visits to Blood Source, Life Source, since she's been giving blood. Jerry, you want to come up? She can tell you how it's like. This is the young lady. I won't say her age. She's younger than I am, let's put it that way. And actually, you just explain to the board how important
I give
it is.
because I can. I mean, if everybody gave things that they could do, we wouldn't have this problem.
There would be absolutely no need to get up here and talk before Tina, Juris, and the rest of the board. Oh, I love them all, though. What the heck? Like I say, I've been here for 53 years. I've seen a lot of changes. I thank you much.
Thanks, George. Good job.
Ms. Mader?
Hello.
Hi.
My name's Linda Mader. I've been a resident of Wheeling since 1986, I believe it was. And I'm here obviously to talk about the Chicago Executive Airport expansion as well. And before I forget, for the record, I do agree with Mr. Neff and Ms. Didier on all of their points. The points that I wanted to bring up basically is very similar to theirs. Things that, if you guys are going to even think about passing this, which is kind of a little bit beyond my thinking, you've got to think about the quality of life for people. Like Steve said, Foxborough Apartments could go away, Plum Creek could go away. You guys would be displacing a lot of residents in Wheeling, getting rid of a lot of property taxes, just so the airport can have their extra 2,000 feet of expansion, and then as possibly bring in cargo planes, bring in larger jets. I also, by the way, live in the flight plan along with a couple of other of you that are on the board. So we know what it's like to have those planes flying over continuously. There also seems to be like no curfew for these flights. They take off at 6 in the morning, they land at 6 at night, they land at 8 at night, they land at 10 at night, they land at midnight. And it's very disruptive just for the residents within the flight path for sleeping purposes, just in general. It's just, in general, it's disruptive all day long, basically, especially on weekends, Sunday nights. Sunday nights, we were trying to sit outside in a backyard and whoosh, at least every 2 minutes a flight was coming by, some larger than others. You have to stop talking. You have to just kind of let it go. And then here comes another one. Oh, and there's another one. And if you expand the runway, depending on which way this goes, it's just going to get worse. And you also have to think about the schools too. I mean, there's homeschool, there's Whitman, there's kids, all over the place. There's the Wheeling Park District. I mean, we're all in the flight plan. So anyway, those are my comments. Just wanted to reiterate a little bit of what they had said too. And that I'm a very concerned citizen about this.
Thank you.
Mr. Berman?
Hi, my name is Steve Berman. I'm at 138 Center. I haven't been here quite as long as most of the other people have talked about Chicago Executive, but that's also what I'm here to talk about. I'm highly concerned about the noise that exists already, and as far as we can tell, it doesn't meet the regulations that were previously set, but that's for another discussion. I do know that the noise has been getting much worse since I've lived here, which is about 8 or 10 years now. And extending the runway would make things way worse because that means bigger, louder planes. This is a community. It's not an industrial area. And it would be better for the community to listen to the community and give them the chance to speak about what they want or what they don't want. More about the airport. If it expands either north or south, which would probably be the only two ways it could, it's going to hugely impact traffic and commuting times, which are already horrible along the Palatine, Milwaukee, and even Dundee areas at rush hour. It would make the community a mess. It would make people avoid the community and would drive down the dollars that we're trying to take in. Another thing is, it seems to be an increase in jet crashes the last several years. As the previous speakers have noted, there are schools in line with the runways. There is the brand new park that was just built in line with the runways. And if something catastrophic were to happen, it could be a really big mess with a lot of kids getting hurt. The other thing that concerned me is I, like Steve Neff, have attended a couple of the airport meetings. And one of the things that really concerned me is that it appears that there is no tracking of planes that come in at night, only during the day, because the tower is closed at night. That is a huge concern for many reasons, because there are planes that can do intercontinental flights already to that airport. And if nobody's keeping check on that, and then you can allow bigger planes to come in, God knows what's coming in. And it's coming in right to our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
Marianne Laguerre?
Hello, good evening. 105 Deborah Lane in Wheeling. I missed the airport meeting. I read in the paper there were police. I don't know what happened. It got pretty heated. So what I'm here for today, I didn't know I was here for that until 5 minutes ago, is to ask if anybody said, I applaud your efforts for attempting to grow and bring business in. Have we looked at different angles? Have we looked at small plane ownership or cooperatives? I mean, Prairie Park would sell out if you buy there and you get part in an airplane. It's very tangible. It's within reach of many, many people's salary, disposable incomes. So have we asked them to, okay, we did this 10 years ago, and I don't know, from what, I don't know about these numbers, 75 million and blah, 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 and all the negatives that came with it. Have we asked them that we want to build our community, and what that means is sales and services of the small planes, and an apprenticeship at the high school for the kids at the small planes. If we got the whole community involved, would that be a possibility? And I don't know if anybody had asked that. But while we're doing this one survey, yes, this business wants to expand, and we applaud efforts there. There's always different ways to do everything. So can we also look at that aspect of it? I've met many pilots through the years, and it's so obtainable. They're happy that they get to, they fly to University of Iowa to go see their kid at school instead of drive. There's so much we can do with that, keeping it within the community, keeping the health risks down. And I wanted to applaud you, John. When you passed that ordinance, you made it mandatory for the village vehicles to not idle. I went and thanked my UPS guy. He comes once a month. And I went out there and thanked him. I said, thank you for turning off your car. He said, well, we're GPSed. It's mandatory, like seatbelt and door closed. So if UPS understands the financial benefits and the ecological benefits of that, I wanted to applaud you. I mean, baby steps, and thank you for doing that. I truly thank you for doing that.
All the credit goes to the board. I just passed along
okay, for the board. Thank you for doing that, because that's a concern, and that's what you're here for, is to, if you're going to talk about taking people's homes and doing this, that, and the other, you want to have conversations first, and this is a great step, and I applaud you people for coming. I know it's not easy to get up here and talk. It's nerve-wracking, but that's the first thing you should do. With the TIF, that should have been the first thing that was done, is you should go to these residents, Southeast TIF, talk to Plum Creek, talk to Wolf Run, work it out, see where we could benefit. Let's get some plans, talk to the taxing boards. Let's all talk about it, because there's so much stress that you guys have put upon you and the citizens, and we're supposed to be working together, and it's supposed to be teamwork, and stress is contagious. And communication and education ahead of time. You don't put your name on a plan that's a C. C minus, you know what the minus is for. An A, great, thank you. Anything more than an A, that's your name's on that. You put your name, okay, they bring you this, and it's yes or no. Let's base this on facts, and it's yes or no. But so if you're going to be talking about taking people's homes, and that's not what we're about. That's not what your intention is. That's not why you are here. You're here to do good. I get that. I get that. So communication, education, and maybe you can ask them at a meeting if they can approach this in different ways to benefit the community, as opposed to harming and stressing out. And we can work together. People have great ideas, so maybe you can do that. I know you're on the board, so that was it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Schmidt?
Kind of nervous, but good evening. My name is Rose Valeria Schmitz. I live with my parents, Domingo and Maria Villarreal, at 1041 Dean Avenue. I'm here, my parents are senior citizens. My dad, it's 84, my mom's 77. My dad have a pacemaker, heart problem. My mom, she's got disabilities, she's sick. And now they're so stressed out, because they lived there for 46 years. We moved from Chicago out of 9 family. And my father raised us all, and we all went to Wheeling High School. We all graduated, all 9 of us, which we're proud of that. Now, their grandkids, my niece, my grandkids, they're all going to Wheeling High School. They're getting very sick, and I am concerned about this, because they heard that you guys want to take the house away. And my dad worked very hard to get a house for for us. And he raised us in good terms. And I don't want to see my mother and father just die over stress because of this. And like I said, for 9 kids, he did a good job in raising us. And we all graduated. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it. For the folks that are here regarding the concerns they have with Chicago Executive Airport, I can assure each and every one of you, we've seen nothing. What the airport board is doing some exploratory things on how they can enhance that airport. I know there's been a lot of talk with the runway expansion, but there's more than that. Mr. Neff, I want you to give me a call this week. I will try to give you the information that you're looking for. You and I have talked in the past. I like to see it myself. Okay? I sat on the airport board. There is economic benefit there, and we'll try to get some of those numbers together. I'll work with our staff in getting what the true meaning is. Laurel, back in the Plan Commission days, I thank you for doing petitions and getting involved with the community. You did as a commissioner, and it's good. But I can tell you right now, there is nothing before this board. The airport doesn't have the final say. The ownership of that airport, Prospect Heights and Wheeling, do. And it's got to be unanimous. If Prospect Heights says no and Wheeling says yes, it doesn't happen, and vice versa. So this is all preliminary talk stuff. I know it's perceived to be 2,000 square feet and we're knocking this down. You know what? Maybe the answer is, or maybe the study comes back that we can move that runway. Maybe it goes east-west. That'd be a good thing for the neighborhood, wouldn't it? Whatever. But right now what they're doing is looking. And not just for the expansion of runway, for other opportunities over there as well. Maybe acquiring some property over there, doing some things, maybe a small industrial district around there with the industrial lane thing. There's a lot of opportunities there. So I tell you, and I can assure you, we've seen nothing at all. We're voting on nothing. I answer calls every day. Thanks, Laurel. I mean, I'm getting people from Prospect Heights now because everybody from Wheeling already called me. So, but I can assure you, there's nothing going on. Steve, give me a call this week. I'm going to work with our economic development and finance director and try to get some, we can't go into particulars, but get some numbers on how it does benefit this community. I know the real estate taxes are one thing. There's other things there as well. So with that being said, sure, believe me, any changes to that airport, we got an airport layout plan. It's not an authority of that board. It's the authority of the ownership, which is Prospect Heights and Wheeling. So, well, Mr.
Already got a note in.
He's already got a note in. And I'm surprised at that. So thanks for bringing that stuff up.
Atlantic too, so.
Yeah, okay. All right. Ready? Okay. Staff reports. Economic Development Director Melanthropy.
Thank you, President Argyros. I just wanted to let everyone know that the Wheeling Prospect Heights Chamber of Commerce golf outing is July 24th at Chevy Chase Golf Club. It's open to the public. We've already got over 90 golfers signed up. It's going to be a great opportunity for the business community to network amongst the businesses in Wheeling and just to have a good time. So I just want to let everyone know about that. July 24th, shotgun start at noon at Chevy Chase. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Consent agenda?
All items listed on the consent agenda are considered to be routine by the village board and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a board member or citizen so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered after all other agenda items.
Thank you. Entertain a motion?
So move.
Second. Motion by Trustee Hare, second by Trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes, thank you. Old business, 12A, there are 3 ordinances, 1, 2, 3. I'll ask the clerk to read those 3 ordinances, and I'll entertain a motion to untable those items from the agenda, from when we tabled it. Madam Clerk?
Okay. Relative to the Town Center 2 Tax Increment Financing District. A1, ordinance designating the Village of Wheeling Town Center 2 Tax Increment Finance District redevelopment project area. A2, ordinance approving the Village of Wheeling Town Center 2 Tax Increment Financing District redevelopment project area redevelopment plan and project. A3, ordinance adopting tax increment financing for the Village of Wheeling Town Center 2 Tax Increment Financing District.
Thank you. Entertain a motion on table.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Vogel, second by, I'm sorry.
Trustee Hein.
Trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes, thank you. Manager Svandelis.
Thank you. My comments are really about old business items A and B, so covering all 6 ordinances. As you're aware, staff and the village board have been working for a little over a year to bring to the board this evening these ordinances creating 2 new TIF districts. Those actions are the result of the economic downturn and the realities of the financial situation that existed in what was those 2 previous TIFs. Everyone, the general public, has heard a number of presentations on the TIF districts, in particular the Town Center TIF and the Southeast TIF that were extinguished at the end of 2013 because the current value of that land fell far below what it was set at when the TIFs were originally created. What that did was create a situation that neutralized the TIF tool, which is there to create, to provide an incentive for development to happen within that TIF district. Because there was such a gap between the old and the new EAVs, the tool was no longer valuable. And so we had to move forward in figuring out what we could do to create an opportunity for development to happen within those districts. The board voted to eliminate the 2 TIF districts at the end of last year, and at this point we are providing these ordinances that will create 2 new TIF districts using the 2013 EAV numbers. On a related topic, it has been chronicled in the press that several taxing districts have balked at supporting our new TIFs. We have disagreed with their legal contentions, but have worked diligently in the spirit of cooperation to make sure they are comfortable with the financial distributions and terms in the form of an intergovernmental agreement. We are not required to have an intergovernmental agreement with these TIFs, but we feel it is in everyone's best interest to have the entire community squarely behind these important projects. And for those developers to move forward, they need an environment without any costly litigation. Everyone is aware that we have 2 projects on the table, ready to go, that have a value of approximately $150 million. One is a mixed-use project just next door on the old WIC site. Another is a residential development valued at $50 million just north on Northgate. Both of those are in their final stages of an RDA, and this process tonight is staying on schedule with what we had talked about in order to keep those projects alive. Like I said, we're finalizing the RDA language, but none of that can happen until these TIF districts are established by your actions this evening. Our staff and attorneys have worked long hours trying to reach an agreement with the taxing bodies, and we will continue to work with them to hopefully reach an agreement that will allow the village to pursue development in the TIF districts and provide TIF increment to the taxing bodies to support their operations.
Thank you. Anything you want to add, Attorney Verhulst?
I think that covers it.
Questions from the board? Entertain a motion for 12A1.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Lang. Second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. Entertain a motion for 12A2.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Brady, second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. Entertain a motion for 12A3.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Krueger,
Second.
second by Trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 12B, Madam Clerk, there are 3 ordinances. Please read them for the record.
Relative to the Southeast 2 Tax Increment Financing District. B1, ordinance designating the Village of Wheeling Southeast 2 Tax Increment Financing District redevelopment project area. B2, ordinance approving the Village of Wheeling Southeast 2 Tax Increment Financing District redevelopment project area redevelopment plan and project. B3, ordinance adopting tax increment financing for the Village of Wheeling Southeast 2 Tax Increment Financing District.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to untable.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Krueger, second by Trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. John, anything else you want to add to this?
Nothing to add. Thank you.
Okay. Questions from the board? Entertain a motion for 12B1.
So moved.
Motion by Trustee Lang.
Second.
Second by Trustee Brady. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. Entertain a motion for 12B2.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Lang, second by Trustee Krueger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 12B3.
So moved.
Second. Motion by trustee Lang, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. 13A, new business.
Four resolutions regarding the provisions of emergency dispatch service by the Village of Wheeling for the City of Des Plaines. You want me to read them all?
All four, please.
A1, resolution authorizing the village president and village clerk to execute an agreement between the Village of Wheeling and the City of Des Plaines relative to emergency dispatch service. Item A2, resolution waiving competitive bidding and authorizing acceptance of the State of Illinois contract for the purchase of computer network servers from Dell Computer Corporation for the Police Department's computer-aided dispatch and records management system. A3, resolution waiving competitive bidding and authorizing acceptance of the State of Illinois contract for the purchase of computer software from CDW Government LLC for the Police Department's computer-aided dispatch and records management system. A4, resolution waiving competitive bidding and authorizing the Village of Wheeling to execute a contract with Comcast Cable Communication Management LLC relative to internet and related services.
Thank you. Manager Svendelis.
Thank you. Building on the good news for the community, I am very happy to present to the board this evening the topic of dispatching for another community. In specific, that community is the City of Des Plaines. For well over a year, staff has been working with the staff from the City of Des Plaines in order to explore an opportunity where we could insource. Normally you hear a lot about trying to save money by outsourcing. In this case, the police department and the rest of our staff worked to try and build on an opportunity that existed within our police department. We're going to hear a little bit of history about the operations itself from Commander Panagakis, but I would just like to say that this is somewhat unprecedented. You don't see very often units of government insourcing where we take on the responsibility of providing a service for another community. It is thinking outside of the box. It is an aggressive move that we thought of carefully. We spent a lot of time talking about the pros and cons of risk, of taking on this responsibility, of what it would mean to our staff, of what it would mean to our citizens. And in the end, it made a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense because we're bringing in a fair amount of money through means other than raising the property tax levy. There aren't many options for municipalities to make money other than raising a tax of some sort. This is doing exactly that without having to go back to the same source, the taxpayers. There's an additional benefit in that with more bodies in our dispatch center, there is more redundancy, there's more availability for our residents when they have an emergency. In my opinion, you can hear that I'm very proud of this. I'm very happy to be presenting this. And I'd like, I guess at this point, for a little more detail on what's happening, to present the team. Commander Panagakis led the police department staff through this process. We did work. This kind of touched every department within the Village of Wheeling, from human resources to, of course, finance. The team was led by Commander Panagakis. Next to him, we have Chief Bill Kushner from the City of Des Plaines. Corporal, is that right? No? Officer, pardon me, I'm sorry. You know what it is? It's the jacket that threw me. It's very fancy. Jeff Weeder and Jacek Tribunia. See, I can't say much because everyone screws up my name, so I get a get-out-of-jail-free card. They were the team that handled the operations because this is very in-depth. There was a lot of work that went into assuring that we can provide this service to the City of Des Plaines while at the same time ensuring that we can continue doing the same level of high-quality service for our residents. So with that, Commander Panagakis, if you would walk us through a little bit of the history and the operation.
Sure. So I guess just saying it is what it is. Are there any questions?
That's easy enough.
Right.
I like that.
You know, back in 2010, our department went under a great renovation, which was largely due to this village board. And when we did that, we actually planned for the future. When we were able to put our radio communication center together, we planned for the future. I think pretty much all of you have seen our dispatch center. It is state-of-the-art. A couple of weeks ago, we were able to go to Des Plaines and go to their city council, where they even identified our location as one of the most state-of-the-art locations they've seen in a while as compared to where they're coming from. But in 2010, we also received direction that at any time we have the opportunity to try to reach out to other departments and see if they would like our help. We should try that. And that's something we've been doing over the past couple of years. We've reached out to local departments, and we've come very close to bringing in departments in. A year ago, with a phone call, we get a phone call from Des Plaines who says, hey, one question, who dispatches for you? And I said, well, we dispatch for ourselves. Are you kidding me? You guys dispatch for yourselves? Yes. Well, you know, that phone call turned into a meeting that Friday with Des Plaines Police Department, Park Ridge, and ourselves. Unfortunately, Park Ridge bowed out of the process. But here we are today with Des Plaines. We've worked very closely with Chief Kushner and his transition team, his Deputy Chief Nick Trentafellis, Deputy Chief Paul Berger, Tim Doherty, our team of Michael Monchain and Mike Crotty on the HR side, because this took up a lot of time on our part. So here we are today. We feel very comfortable with the contract that was put together and the thought that was put into it, and we feel that without a problem we can do this.
Good. Questions from the board? Trustee here.
Coming from a law enforcement background, I've worked with a multi-dispatch system, and I salute you. I've had several questions that were asked to the committee as well as the police chief, and they were answered. I look forward to seeing this come to fruition because I think it's going to benefit the entire community. So thank you for your hard work.
I appreciate it, Trustee here.
Anybody else?
Yeah, question.
Trustee Brady, I'm sorry. No.
Not that it means much in a way of financing this whole thing, but what happens now with 911 fees that are collected? Do we get ours plus Des Plaines to cover the cost?
That's an excellent question. As you know, the 911 Center as a separate fund has been operating in the red for quite some time because we've tried and failed twice through referendum to raise the fee. The formula is broken at the state level, and we continue to try to convince the state that they need to do something about it. The influx of money that comes in as part of the contractual annual payment will more than make up that gap. So it brings the center into the black. So we will no longer have to fund through general funds the communication center. The answer to your question about will we receive Des Plaines' portion of the 911 fund, I believe the answer is no. However,
their fees.
Correct. The city retains their fees. However, because of the contractual payments on an annual basis, we are finally operating in the black, which is something we couldn't ever say by any other means other than an arrangement like this.
Good. Thank you.
Trustee Lang?
Thank you. Peter, how many more communities can we take on? How much room do we have to take?
Well, right now, I would say we would just settle for Des Plaines, which is a very large.
That's not settling.
Well, for the next year it will be. You know, and once we've transitioned in, who knows? You know, I don't know how much further we're looking in becoming a dispatch center besides us and Des Plaines. But once we're all settled in with Des Plaines and we've transitioned in, maybe it's an avenue we can look at.
Good. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I'll make a motion.
Just real quick, I just want to make a statement. Good job, everybody. Mayor Bogus and I have been supporters of this for the last year. Actually, I think we pushed you guys a few times. Where are we at? Where are we going with this? But you know what? You did it right, and you got everybody involved. And we welcome Des Plaines, and I think this is going to be a good marriage happening here. I think it works for everybody. I know, and we appreciate it, Chief. So I entertain a motion for 13A1.
So move.
Motion by Trustee Hare.
Second.
Second by Trustee Kruger. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. Entertain a motion for 13A2.
So move.
Motion by trustee Hare,
Second.
second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. Entertain a motion for 13A3.
So move.
Motion by trustee Hein,
Second.
second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. Entertain a motion for 13A4.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Brady,
Second.
second by trustee Lang. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. Welcome, and Manager Spondelis has one.
I'd just like to take the opportunity to publicly acknowledge and thank all of my staff for making this happen. This is not something you see every day. And I know that in addition to running the police department and in addition to running all of your individual departments, we were able to make this thing work and cover our bases and really put in the time to make sure that everything is covered through all this. And it was a learning experience, and I think a very good thing, not only for us as staff, but the result, now that it's passed, is for the benefit of the residents and businesses of this community. And I really just want to thank and acknowledge all of you for your efforts throughout this past year. So thank you.
Okay, 13B.
Ordinance granting special use and associated site plan approval for a motor vehicle transport facility within an existing industrial building at 555 Allendale Drive, docket number 2014-8.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. The petitioners are here tonight requesting a special use approval for a motor transport facility at this location. They're not going to be taking up the entire property. The property is approximately 240,000 square feet in size. They are looking to use just part of the building and part of the parking lot for a maximum of 20 vehicles. That would be a maximum of 16 cars or small trucks, and then 4 trailers. The idea for the business is to transport vehicles to and from Chicago and the East Coast, and they'd like to use this property.
There are 2 conditions with the
That's correct.
ordinance. You want to read them for the record?
The first condition is that all truck and trailer parking must be located entirely within the I-3 area of the property. Part of this property is MXT at the very south end. It's a very small piece. And number 2, that the business may park up to 4 transport trailers and up to 16 vehicles waiting for transport.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Brady?
Just one. In reading through this, I understand that vehicles are going to be dropped off at night. Sometimes somebody comes in from a over the road, trip, and they empty their truck. They can drop it off there, leave the keys under the mat, or throw them in the door. Are you going to have signs and places for them to park, other than just leaving it out somewhere on the street?
They usually, if they arrive really like in the middle of the night, they would park the trailer with cars being on the trailer, and the next morning they usually show up to unload the trailer, if that's what the question was. But
Well,
leaving the cars, we have the keys.
Will they be able to get in? What are you renting there? Cars?
Yeah, we move
Trucks?
cars from this state to New Jersey.
You move cars?
Yeah, we're
Oh,
transportation.
you don't rent?
No.
Okay, I thought it was a little different situation where there was some possibility of trucks coming in late at night and not being able to, get in the facility. So you'll have facility.
No, we
So
don't.
the drivers are yours and they'll know what to do if they get there
Oh,
overnight.
yeah.
All right, no
They
problem.
arrive
Thank
and
you.
they know what.
Trustee Hein?
Thank you. Are you going to be doing any inside work as far as maintaining your fleet over there? Are you going to be you have a fleet of trucks that you're going to be using for transporting, correct?
Yes, the open air trailers.
Are you going to be working on your vehicles there? Are you going to be inside?
No, if it needs to change a tire, I would probably change a tire, but we do have a separate shop that we can't change axles and engines on the parking lot. No, we have a body shop that we take our trucks there usually.
And the majority of your transportation that you're going to be providing is going to be on the outside
Yeah.
You're going to be storing them on the outside. You're going to be putting together the different means of getting these things out. Which route are you going to be taking out of our village?
How are we going to exit the street? Well, depends where they need to go to pick up a car. It can be going up to Lake Cook, it can be going up to Dundee, but usually Lake Cook.
You're going to be using Lake Cook, right?
Yes, because they need to get into 53 usually.
Okay, you're not going to be using Dundee Road, right?
No.
Okay.
If there's certain rules I would like to know, so I
I'm
would
kind of
advise
concerned
my
about this
drivers
type of business that we're looking at here, and I, for one, I'd love to have you in the village of Wheeling. I'm just concerned about the location and the site itself, only because we are planning a very large residential area not too far from you. So I do have some great concern about that. Thank you.
Anybody else?
I have just a quick question. Can you explain a little bit more about, and it might help the audience as well, a little bit more about where the cars come from and why they're going from point A to point B?
Well, we used to take cars to different states, and I think somebody asked us a few weeks ago when we met here again, but to go from here to New Jersey, it takes about 3 days. So usually all the truck drivers, they usually leave and they're gone for months and months and months. They get tired, there's accidents happen because they're too exhausted. I don't want that with my drivers. I want them to work 3 days and I want them to be with the family for 4 days. So that's why we picked that route. How we pick the cars, people relocate. New York has a lot of ports, so a lot of people they ship their cars or whatever they do with them. We just strictly, if you need to move, you post that you need to move from this point to this point. I call you up, I pick your car, and I move it to New Jersey. I don't go to any other states. I could send them here, but if you're too tired, there's a lot of problems that can happen with this business. So I chose to move slowly but safely. That's my approach.
Okay. Entertain a motion with the two conditions that were stated.
So moved.
Motion by trustee Lang.
Second.
Second by trustee Hare. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
No.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes. Thank you. Good luck.
Thank you.
13C.
Ordinance granting a special use and associated site plan and appearance approval for a Wingstop restaurant at 280 South Dundee Road, docket number 2014-9.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. The petitioners here tonight are requesting a special use for a fast food restaurant. In this particular case, it's called Wingstop. It's being located or being requested to be located in the space that previously was used for FedEx. This is located on the north side of Dundee Road, and the basic business here is to sell wings and various other items that come with wings, drinks, that sort of thing. The hours of operation are 11 till 12 a.m. There'll be 30 seats in the restaurant, 5 employees, and the space is approximately 2,000 square feet in size.
Thank you. There are conditions.
That's correct. There's 4 conditions.
Read them for the record.
The first condition is that the plan shall be modified as described in the health officer's comments dated May 30th, 2014. Number 2, that the petitioner work with the property owner to install signs directing employees and patrons to the overflow parking area to the north of 10 North Milwaukee Avenue, which is Walgreens. That parking area is shared with this use as well as Walgreens. It's located at the very south end of Benihana's parking lot. Number 3, that the petitioner work with the landlord to replace the faded awnings within a year of occupancy. And number 4, that the maximum number of seats shall be 30, plus the waiting area shown on the floor plan.
Okay. With the faded awnings, dead trees or something like that with it?
There are a couple of trees that
Work
have...
with the landlord on that?
That's correct.
Okay.
They have to be replaced anyway. They're part of the landscape plan.
Okay. Questions from the board? When are you looking to open?
Once we get approval, hopefully within 10 to 12 weeks.
Oh.
Will you be requesting the liquor license as well?
Not initially, if the demand is there. However, liquor, and it would be bottled, is less than 1% of our business, so it's not consequential to ongoing business.
Good. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Entertain a motion with the 4 conditions.
So move.
Motion by trustee here, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Juris.
Yes. Welcome. Let us know when you open.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. 13D.
Ordinance granting special use approval for a recreation and instructions facility within an existing industrial building, 466 Deans Drive, docket number 2014-10.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. Petitioners here tonight requesting a special use from the board to expand their existing use. There's currently a recreation facility at this particular location. It has a maximum of 12 people that can be there at any one time. The special use is required when someone requests more than 12. Petitioners requesting a maximum of 30 people that will be able to exercise here at any one time, and that would include 3 employees. The space is approximately 8,000 square feet in size. The business has been here for approximately 2 years already. 1 year?
7 months.
So 7 months. Sorry.
And no conditions. That's a first in a long
No
time.
conditions.
No condition.
Questions from the board?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Brady,
Second?
second by trustee Hein. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Juris.
Yes, and good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you. 13E.
Resolution accepting a bid and approving a contract with Martrim Construction for the corrugated metal arch pipe replacement project.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. Community development staff publicly bid this project. This is you've heard of this project before. We had to rebid this project because of a relocation of the location of this pipe. There's an existing 60-inch corrugated metal pipe that contains stormwater flow in the Strong Street neighborhood. It runs from east to west, and the project is to replace this pipe. We're going to leave this pipe in the ground, and we're going to replace it with a concrete pipe of the same size. The contract was bid. There were 4 bidders on the project. The contract is for approximately $1.339 million.
Thank you. Questions from the board? Trustee Brady?
Mark, has the contractor agreed to hold off on the sidewalks for any length of time till we get ready to put them in? He owns the sidewalks?
There shouldn't be any sidewalks as part of this project. The project was relocated into, half of it is within the village streets, which can be going down Strong Street, then up 8th Street, and then it's going to continue through a right-of-way, actually an easement, in the backyards of residential properties as it goes to the west.
All right. Good, no problem.
Okay.
Motion to approve.
Motion by trustee Brady,
Second.
second by trustee Krueger. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Juris.
Yes, thank you. 13F.
Resolution authorizing change order number 2 and final to the construction contract with City Construction Company Incorporated for the Dundee Road Water Main Replacement and Sidewalk Construction Project.
Thank you. Director Janik.
Thank you. I'm requesting approval of a change order for the construction project that happened right behind us along Dundee Road. This construction was a water main that was put in last fall, and then it continued this spring with landscaping and various other cleanup work. We had one change order for approximately $30,000 in 2013, and I'm requesting this change order, which is approximately $15,000 for the final amount of work that needed to be done. There are a few items that I've listed in the memorandum that require this change order. Most of it's landscaping. Some of it has to do with the fact that the Illinois Department of Transportation had us move our pipe and we had to redesign, and then we ran into some utility problems underground. Generally speaking, the project went very well. We had no contingency on this project. Normally, there are contingency costs, and there are contingencies as part of a contract. We did not have that on this particular contract, and so the total of these change orders totals were just typically provided in a contingency anyway. The estimate for this project was over $500,000. We ended up being $86,000 below what was estimated by our engineers.
Thank you. Questions from anybody? Just one comment. Mark, are we going to get something to clean it up and cut the grass over there or something? I mean, the
Yes.
right-of-way looks terrible.
It looks terrible because Commonwealth Edison deposited some new poles to replace the telephone poles that are out there. We've talked to ComEd, and they will be fixing any divots, any problems with the right-of-way. As you know, the right-of-way was finished.
Right.
And they have told us that they will be fixing any of the right-of-way problems that exist after these poles were delivered.
So we'll get it maintained. And
That's correct.
okay, thank you. Entertain a motion?
So moved.
Motion by trustee Kruger.
Second.
Second by trustee Hare. Roll call.
Trustee Heim?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Kruger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. 13G.
That's a public hearing, a resolution regarding 6B property tax exemption for 1234 Peterson Drive. Public hearing regarding request for Cook County Class 6B property tax exemption for 1234 Peterson Drive.
Thank you. Director Melantify.
Thank you very much, President Argyros. An application for the Cook County Class 6B property tax incentive was submitted by FedEx Ground Package System as the contract lessee of the vacant and abandoned industrial building at 1234 Peterson Drive and 1101 Chaddock Drive. FedEx will lease and occupy the 146,502 square foot industrial building and 5 acres of vacant land from the contract purchaser and landlord, Scannell Properties. The subject properties suffer some functional obsolescence, age, and deterioration. The 20-foot clear height portion of the facility on 1234 Peterson Drive was built in 1985, and the 26-foot clear height portion of the facility was built in 1999. The building covers most of the approximately 10-acre parcel. Having been built in multiple parts, the heavy load-bearing walls divide the building into 3 main sections. The layout of these sections in comparison with the location of the docks and office severely limits access should the building be divided in an attempt to accommodate multiple businesses. Overall, the size and layout of this building and its extensive site coverage limits the number of users who would be able to fully occupy the subject property to maximize its use. Additionally, the 1234 Peterson Drive property offered very few amenities for employees and company visitors with only 2,500 square feet of office space, a parking lot which is in need of being substantially repaired or completely redone, the outdated locker rooms in disrepair, and neglected employee cafeteria located in the warehouse, and a number of other utility and cosmetic upgrades. The landlord and FedEx, the total project cost, including site acquisition, amounts to an investment of more than $14 million. The property has been 100% vacant and unused since April 30th, 2013, and has been receiving a property tax vacancy relief from the Cook County Assessor's Office. FedEx currently employs 9 full-time and 22 part-time positions at their existing facility. If they proceed with leasing and occupying the property at 1234 Peterson Drive, they would potentially hire 20 temporary construction jobs, transfer their existing workers, and hire an additional 4 full-time and 16 part-time workers over the next 5 years. Employment projections provided by the applicant describe a total workforce of approximately 11 full-time and 39 part-time employees over the next 10 years based on current growth patterns. Village staff has reviewed the application and recommends approval of the Class 6B property tax classification with special circumstances and with substantial rehabilitation. The village has asked FedEx to work with their landlord to remove some trees that succumb to the emerald ash borer. So village staff is recommending approval of the Class 6B exemption for this property.
Thank you, John.
Thank you.
This is a public hearing. Anybody from the public wish to speak regarding this item? Let the record show nobody wishes to speak. Any comments from the board? Entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
So move.
Motion by trustee Hare.
Second.
Second by trustee Hein. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. Entertain a motion for 13G2.
So move.
Motion by trustee Hare.
Second.
Second by trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hare?
Yes.
President Juris?
Yes, thank you. Welcome to town.
Thank you. On behalf of FedEx Ground, thank you.
Thank you. 13H.
Discussion regarding Prairie Park redevelopment agreement extension request.
Thank you. Mr. Ferrillo.
Thank you, President Argyris. There are two requests related to Prairie Park. The first is an extension request related to the redevelopment agreement that is in place. To give you just a little bit of history on this, as you will recall, the village had entered into an RDA with the Smith family for the construction of Prairie Park back in 2004. Prior to 2010, the village had contributed $4.5 million in TIF incentives to the project. In 2010, the village passed a restated RDA, which allowed for the reimbursement of an additional $6 million related to TIF-eligible expenses that this developer incurred in constructing that project. That RDA is set to expire on September 23rd, 2014. The RDA provided for payouts on a milestone basis, and the milestones that called for payouts related to the construction of the clubhouse and Ring Road, which were done a couple of years ago, and I believe $2 million was paid out then. The remaining payout of TIF reimbursement for eligible expenses that this developer incurred were paid out based on a per unit sale basis. Sales have really picked up in the development over the past couple of years. To date, we have paid $4.9 million of the additional $6 million that were approved on September 23rd, 2010. Again, that agreement is set to expire within a couple of months. The developer tonight is presenting a request to extend that agreement for a 2-year period. The request for an extension relates to financing issue that the developer is working through, and a request by the lender to the developer to secure the extension through the village. So that is the extension request presented at this time. Mr. Shapiro can certainly fill in any gaps that I've left, and we can answer questions.
Thank you. Mr. Shapiro.
Yeah, I'm not sure I could say it any better, but I will say that we're here because it is a condition of the lender to enter into a second forbearance agreement that the time be extended. Sales have been wonderfully brisk, and I think we're all happy and fortunate for that. And maybe the sales will be completed by the end of September, but I don't think any of us want to take that risk. So we're asking for an extension as a condition to the lender for the second forbearance agreement.
Thank you. Questions from the board? I'd like to get a consensus to yes or no on the extension. Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Hein? Trustee Hein?
Oh, he answered for Lang.
Oh, thank you. Sorry. I say yes also.
Trustee Hare?
I'll say yes, too.
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
And myself, yes, on the extension. 13I?
Well, related to the extension, before we get to the next item, we will bring you a second amendment to the RDA for your approval at the next meeting with an ordinance.
Thank you.
Sure.
13I? Madam Clerk?
Discussion regarding request for village citizens to fund the construction of a 5th building at Prairie Park.
Thank you. Mr. Ferrolo.
Thank you, President Argyros. This second request relates to the construction of the fifth building, which has not yet been constructed in the Prairie Park development. As you know, that project under the PUD contemplated 5 buildings for a total of 306 units. The developer, in addition to the first extension request, is seeking some assistance from the village related to financing the development of that fifth building. As I stated earlier, the project has $10.5 million in TIF-eligible expenses, which we will pay out by the end of the extension, presumably given the brisk nature of sales. So this request is not a TIF request, as I view it, given that we're at the end of the TIF eligibles. So it is a request for financial assistance. The developer and his attorney have provided several options on how they feel that we can look at this. This just came to us, in fairness, June 30th. I've got some concerns about the options presented. I have not had a chance to talk to Mr. Shapiro as of yet, but I will do that. But with that, Dan, maybe you can give us a little more background.
Yeah, and I remember being here a meeting or two ago when President Argyros, you were talking about the TIF districts and the success that they have reaped to this village. The properties where this TIF district where the properties are is no exception. Prairie Park Development started generating TIF revenue in 2005. It has generated, just the 4 buildings, over $8.5 million in property tax revenue through 2012. So in those 7 years, it's generated a wonderful amount of property tax for this village. Now, if you add all that and compute that to the end of the TIF, which would be 2025, at the same rate, same EAV, and everything else being equal, that could generate $32,600,000 through the duration of the TIF. A wonderful return on investment to this village. And this village should be credited for that. What we're hoping through the beginnings of this discussion is that Building 5, and what we expect is that Building 5 would be no exception. Based upon the projections that we have calculated from our TIF expert, if Building 5 were to be constructed in the next 24 months or so, it would generate almost $6 million through the duration of the TIF, that building alone. And as you saw in my letter, what we're asking for in order to make the prospects of a construction loan fairly realistic is about $4.7 million. So based upon, again, everything being equal, the return on the investment by the village of the 4.7 would come back through the duration of the TIF, plus an additional $2 million. I think that's important to realize that the fifth building is not only something that could be a financial benefit to the village, but after some hard years over at Prairie Park, and as Mr. Ferrolo just explained, sales are good now. Sales are real good. There are only 10 units left. And it's a success story, I think, both not only for the Smith family, but for this village. And they have sold 31 units in 2013. It's estimated by September there will be an additional 20 units sold. So the turnaround for at least this particular part of the community has been remarkable. In the fifth building, given this trend and given what I think we're all agreeing is a slowly improving economy, can come back and benefit this community, fulfill demand, and the demand primarily is in larger units, not in the smaller units. I think they would have been able to sell even more units had the larger units not been pretty much sold out by now. And look at this fifth building as something that will be a positive. Now, I understand that Jim just got this a week or so ago, and I appreciate that, and we're all busy. But what I would like to do is, part of this is to begin the conversation, to see and to hope that there is a financial mechanism by which the village would feel comfortable in assisting the Smith family with the construction of that fifth building.
Thank you. Any questions from the board? Trustee Brady?
Well, I just want to kind of make a statement. You know, I know we are here to represent the people of this community, what's best for them. But we also know that our goal is to get developments up so we can benefit from the tax increases that these type of projects can generate. Now, we have a man here that probably was one of the first builders to put up a quality, high-end condominium project on McHenry Road. He took on this project over there, and unfortunately, not by any fault of his, he was very successful at the start. The first, second building were going good, and then the economy pooped down on him. And, you know, he's struggling. He struggled through. But, you know, but the difference between him and a lot of other, and why I think I personally can put some faith into him, is because he didn't run away from it. He stood there and fought for years trying to save that project, trying to save his family, his business, and his project, an embarrassment to himself and the village of Wheeling. He cares for this town. And, you know, if there's any way that we can help him without jeopardizing people of this community, you know, in what we owe them, I think we have to go for it. And you know, my whole life has been spent in the development and construction industry. And there's a lot of people out there I wouldn't trust as far as I could throw them. You know, we've had people here in town, the minute the going got rough, they dropped the ball and ran and left the shambles, but not Mark Smith. So I think we got to try. However, we got to do it.
Thank you, Trustee Brady. Trustee Hind?
You know, when we start talking about the Smith project, it's been going on for quite a while. Mr. Smith's been involved in this community for a long time. Not only does he live here, but he does his business here. And what I like about it is the fact that when I talk to the residents over there, that they have a very high regard for what he's done over there and how he has progressed through the hard times. And it's a great development. And we always talked about raising the bar. And I hope that we can, within the realms of the village of Wheeling, assist him in this fifth building, because it's been nothing but plus for the village of Wheeling. And you know, it hasn't put a burden on the other taxing districts. Very few children go to school there. Most of them are empty nesters or young people starting out, and it's a wonderful blend over there. So let's see if we can help them out.
Thank you. Anybody else? Well, I think what we need to do here is you guys sit down and have a face-to-face, you and Mr. Ferrolo. You've given us options here. I know there's concerns regarding what's TIF eligible, what isn't TIF eligible, and in all fairness, I think staff needs to sit down with you. And I think the feel here, the flavor here is if we can do something, I think the intention is to try to do something, you know, within the law and what we need to do. The quality of life there is wonderful. I mean, anytime I go by there and see the folks that are living there, they are coming from the North Shore, from Glenview. I met a new couple that I know Mr. Smith had given me a story on. She pulled out her checkbook and wanted to buy the three-bedroom model, and I think she did, or she's about to buy it, and just sold her home in Glenview. So the quality of residents that we're getting there, I think has been a big plus for this community. And I love to see the fifth building up there. I love to see a new increment being generated there. But we got to see how we can do it. And I think the first step of that, Dan, is to sit down with Jim and...
We'll sit down and we'll both be here on the 21st, and maybe we can provide a little bit of a status at that time, just to let you know that we've sat down and putting our heads together and trying to solve it.
We'll get the extension through that buys a little time to get those other 10 units sold and closed, and I think that's a good thing. But again, you know, Ken said it right. I think 99% of a developer would have walked away from that project back in 2010. And, you know, the Village of Wheeling did help, and I'm glad we did. because there could have been a rummage sale of condos there, and the poor folks that spend $500,000, $400,000, whatever the case may be over there, would have had neighbors that would have bought the same unit for probably a third of the price. And you got to think about stuff like that, and it's important. It's a beautiful community. I like to see it grow with that fifth building. And I'm sure the two attorneys, smart guys that you are, will get together and try to figure something
overestimate
out.
my abilities.
But it's okay. So I'm pretty sure that's the consensus of the board, to have the attorneys sit together and
Thank you.
work something out. Thank you. Okay, official communication. Trustee Hein?
I have nothing this evening.
Okay, thank you. Trustee Lang?
Thank you. Just a quick update, if John or Mark, if you can let us know what's going on with London Bridge and the fencing around there. I know you guys have stripped it of the debris.
Last week, we sent out an RFP to repair, fill in the holes, smooth out the concrete, and then paint it. So right now, we're not doing a lot of work to it, but we are going to, fix the exterior and then paint it. So I'm waiting right now for those RFPs to come back.
Does the fencing still need to be up in place around there, or can it?
I believe the fencing was taken down in order to use the bridge.
No, the fencing is still up. The concern is that there's, I don't know that it's reed bar, but there are anchors protruding from the structure itself. That's the only reason for the fence. But it is accessible.
Right, yes.
But it's still, we understand, unsightly.
And is the sidewalk on the north side usable now? Because that was all blocked off for. Okay, it's open. Great.
Yeah, the only reason not to get close to it is because there are some metal ties.
Right, I've seen those out of there. Just was wondering when the fence will come down and what's the next step on it.
Fence is rented for 6 months. Whether price is the same, and we have to put that fence back up to finish the job, so.
Makes sense. Thank you.
Can we get it done before school starts? Or are you going to do it in the winter?
I expect the RFPs to come back, I think, by the 28th of...
Okay, let's try to get it done. It looks terrible over here. Trustee Brady.
Actually, just want to tell staff that you did a great job on the 3rd of July. It was a fun time. I couldn't believe the amount of people there were and how orderly everything was. And it worked fine. Music was great. Fireworks were great. Everybody did their job in a short period of time, and it was fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Hare.
I have nothing to say.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
Trustee Vogel.
Two things. One, piggybacking on what Trustee Lang said. We're going to leave that bridge up, or we're going to take it down?
In the long run?
Yeah, well, in the short run.
Well,
why is it still up? I mean, does anybody really use it? We have a crossing guard 20 feet from there, coming off of Cedar, and we have another crossing guard up at Walgreens. And the only thing I see is kids throwing stones and balloons off of that thing.
Kids do use it. The police department did do a pedestrian traffic count. And we are putting together a memo that outlines some of the options available to you. It's unfortunately not as black and white as, a bridge or a fill in the blank. We're still fleshing out what fill in the blank is, whether that's a traffic signal, a crosswalk, a crossing guard, whatever it is. So we're working on a memo that answers that question.
Okay, because it seems like we keep throwing money at it, and we should come up with a resolution on it. The other thing is not only thank staff for July 3rd, but thank the residents that came out. I went there the next morning, and I know our staff was walking around cleaning up, but that thing looked like nothing happened there the day before. There wasn't a little matted grass down. It was really, really clean. And I noticed a lot of the residents and the patrons that were there were using those. Whoever came up with the idea of the cardboard disposal boxes, they were all using them. So they kind of policed themselves, and the crowd was great. So thank everybody for that.
Oh, well, thank you.
Thank you. Trustee Kruger?
Thank you. I really don't have anything else except to tout our success for July 3rd.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Clerk Simpson?
I have nothing tonight.
Manager Svandelis?
Nothing, thank you.
I have a couple things. I want to echo what the board had said, that July 3rd, Police Department, Fire Department, Public Works Administration, and the community. It was a great event, and thank God, no problems. I mean, it was a good time, and everybody pulled together, and the feedback I got from the residents was they had a really good time. They had fun. So it's nice to see that, and I always enjoy it myself. My predecessor is celebrating a milestone today. It's her, Judy Eberscotto's 80th birthday, so on behalf of myself and the board, I want to wish her a happy birthday today. She's 80 years old. I'm sure she's out dining with her family and friends and enjoying this wonderful day for herself. Tonight, you saw unanimously that the village board created 2 new TIF districts that will have such a huge positive impact on the future of this community. The proposed $150+ million town center developments will bring over 100,000 square feet of retail, a first-run movie, dinner theater, and a flex brew house to the downtown area here to the west. And with that will come jobs and valuable resources for the future of this community. We are all hopeful we can cement an intergovernment agreement, and I believe we're really close to doing that, and move forward with the most important development in the history of this community. And that this will occur before interested developers choose to go elsewhere. Our main concern here is that we don't lose those that are here today. We need to get done with these TIFs. We need to be fair. And the Village of Wheeling, and talking to other communities that have TIFs, I have been personally told by other mayors that the partnership that you're trying to create with the taxing bodies is probably very unprecedented. And you know what? So be it. We set this board from day one that we were going to create partners. We're going to continue to create partnerships and move forward and do what's best for this community. We all recognize the economic development, like what we are talking about here, and the benefit that for this community, not just the residents, but also the businesses. But most important, part of the community, I think a lot of people forget, are the other taxing bodies. The school districts, the park district, the library are part of the community of Wheeling. We're all one in my eyes, and we all need to continue to work together. Personally, I want to thank 3 state representatives who I've asked to come and kind of mediate and bring together the other taxing bodies with the Village of Wheeling, and that was State Representative Harris, Nekritz, and Sente. We had had a meeting in private on a Saturday at Representative Nekritz's office, and just to sit at a round table and talk, and hear everybody's concerns, and try and iron out some of our differences, which I believe we did that night. It was a learning experience, not just for the taxing bodies, but I believe also for the representatives. So it was a positive thing. On a personal touch, I want to thank our team here, Manager Svandelis, Jim Ferrillo and his firm, many endless nights for John Melantefe and the Economic Development team, and Michael Monishane with the Finance Department. We've never gone to the table with an attitude. We've never gone to the table not thinking that we can't work something out. And I'm proud of this team. And I'm proud of the time they've put in. Didn't matter if it was Saturday, didn't matter if it was a Sunday, didn't matter. Many times John and I talked at 11, 12 o'clock at midnight and exchanged ideas and kept communication going. So with that, I'm very proud of. I'm proud of what the future brings for this community, and I'm glad that we have these TIFs behind us now, that we can move forward. And hopefully in the very near future, very, very near future, that we'll have an intergovernment agreement that will come before this board to be approved. So that's all I have this evening. And let's see. Oh, one thing. That's a side note. Can we talk about dog parks? I know you've been talking with the park district. Can you maybe get something back to us and see what we can do? Honestly, John, I'm getting residents that are really looking forward to doing something. Maybe as a cooperative with the park district, maybe we can do something together. But I think there are areas and some subdivisions that welcome a meet and greet place for their pets to meet with their neighbors. And if we can do, I know we're not in the park business, but maybe if we can do something together with the park It'd be such a great amenity for the residents, and really it would, because I'm telling you, and I forward you the emails, you see the emails that I'm getting. So if we can do something and maybe get back to the public, I think it's a great thing. Thanks. Anybody else? Good. Approval of bills for June 12, 2014 through July 2nd, 2014. Entertain a motion.
So move.
Second.
Motion by trustee Hare, second by trustee Vogel. Roll call, please.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. Entertain a motion to go into executive session for pending, probable, and/or imminent litigation, the setting of a price for sale or lease of property owned by the public body, 300 South Milwaukee Avenue. Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Motion for trustee Hines, second by trustee Lang. Roll call.
Trustee Hein?
Yes.
Trustee Lang?
Yes.
Trustee Brady?
Yes.
Trustee Krueger?
Yes.
Trustee Vogel?
Yes.
Trustee Heer?
Yes.
President Argyros?
Yes. We will go into executive session at 8:15. Good night, everyone.